Hi everyone, so this is how I tape a flag. 2 crutch tips, 2 bolts. You need a 4-inch, which goes on the top, and a 2-inch that goes on the bottom. You can measure it with your knuckle. And then a pole, make sure it's not bent, and the cheaters should be 1 foot apart if you can't use the Bandroom tile floors. Grab some tape, and I did about like 20 or 30 things around the bottom of it. Especially for the 4-inch ones, they tend to rattle a lot, so the more tape that you put around the bottom, the more stuck they will be like inside the pole. So like you'll see later, I honestly put enough tape on my 4-inch bolt until it can barely fit into the pole. You don't have to do that, but just know that if you don't, it'll be rattly. So yeah, and then you're gonna stick it in your pole, and you have to secure it in, do like a plus sign, and then wrap around it. Right now I'm doing my bottom crutch tip because I put the 2-inch in there. But yeah, just like that. Beautiful. And then I put the crutch tip on, and then I like give it a little test rattle, and it was perfect, guys. It was perfect. After that, you have to tape your crutch tip onto your pole, because if you don't do that, it'll fly off. I go a little bit past my crutch tip so that it really stays on there. You do, I think, 1, 2, 3, you do 4 strips of tape in like a star pattern. And yeah, make sure that you don't have any crutch tip like sticking out, especially if you use like a white crutch tip on a black pole and you're supposed to like tape it black and you can see white poking out. Like, that's so bad. And yeah, I'm trying to show you the star, but you can't see it because it's black. And then once you do the star, you wrap around the entire thing, and you have a really nice bottom crutch tip that won't fly off and hit anyone. And then yeah, so now I'm working on my 4-inch bolt. So I actually did this quite a few times. Like you can see, I would wrap it, put it in, test it, and it was still rattly, so I take it out, put more, still rattly, take it out, put more. And then I did it to the point where, like, you'll see later, like it barely fit in the pole. I had to like shove it in there. And you don't have to do this if you don't want. Just know that your flag is gonna be rattly, and I prefer my flags to be silent. So see there how I had to like really push it in with my hand. That's like the foolproof way to make your flag not rattly. And this process uses up a lot of tape, so I recommend like using my own personal tape to tape my bolts instead of the guardroom tape, because it kind of like drains half of it. Do the star and then secure it in there. For your flag, you want to make sure that the longer part is on the bottom. So the one on the left side is at the bottom, and then the top. Yeah, you saw that. And then super quick, when we're taping our part 2 flags, I'll say this over and over again, but the white goes on the top and the black goes on the bottom, because when you stand up and look at it, the black part is longer and then the white part is shorter. So put the black part in first. My flag has a hole in it, so that's why I did that. This part can get a little tricky because you really need to make sure that the seam is aligned when you tape the top and the bottom. So here I put my crutch tip on, and then I like to tape my flag straight to the pole first and then tape the crutch tip. And you see, like, when I pull it down at the seam, there's like a little triangle. You want to tape over the triangle and then wrap around it, and then you tape around to the pole. This part's like weird. Your flag is gonna bend weird. I don't know what that means. Your silk is gonna like fold weird. But it's really the only way that your flag won't like come undone during the day. You know what I mean? You just really have to make sure that you tape over that little triangle, because if you don't, then like you'll pull on your flag and it'll just come out. So you really have to tape it in a little bit inside the silk and then onto the pole. From here, you do that star that you did on the bottom crutch tip, and then get a nice piece of tape and wrap all around it so your crutch tip won't fly off as well. I give my silk like a good pull to make sure that it won't come out, because that's like the worst thing that ever happened to you on a Saturday rehearsal, when your tape is melted and then your flag comes out. Like, this is just so annoying, and you'll have to retape it. But yeah, so this part is the part that I was talking about, the tricky part about aligning your seam. I actually did it wrong here the first time. I think I twisted it a little bit. So you want to find that triangle again, pull down on your silk, make sure it's really nice and taut and like straight. tape over that triangle and just twist your silk to make sure that it's like in line. And then tape all the way down to make your tab. And then I did some drop spin to test it, make sure the 4 is on the top, and you're done.